Hello everyone, you're welcome to building a REST API using Rust and Axon. In this part 7, we'll look at pagination. And without much delay, let's get right into it. I'll go to my route. So we'll write one for getting all the users is going to be unprotected. Coming, I'll do pub async function get users, and we pass in our state. And also we need our query builder or query extractor. Then we call this params, and we have query. This is going to be user query params. We'll define this in a bit, and we have the result, which will be of JSON. We can pass in this set JSON dot value this. And in the case of error, you can pass in a status code and of type string. So for every pagination, you need the page size and you need the limits. So let's declare a variable called page, which will be of params dot page dot unwrap wrap or. So we want to have a default of 1. I'll copy this and I'll paste, and I'll do limit. This will be limit, and the default size of that limit should be 10. So you want to render 10 records per page, and we can do our offset, which will be equal to page minus 1 times limit. Then we can declare a query builder, and we have query builder from the SQLx. Declare new instance, select, you can have ID name, password hash. What do we have in our users? Let's just select all for now. So let's start from users, and we can pass in where 1 equals to 1. So this will return a true value. This 1 equals to 1, which makes adding and other features easier. So if you want to concatenate and any other clause, it makes it easier. And we can close this. And for filter, I will add name filter here. Then we can do let's do a condition. If let some name equals to params dot name, then we can add the query builder dot push. So that we push into it, we'll leave a space, and name I like, that is name is like. Then we close this. So for the push, this will append the SQL fragment to the query. Just you want to concatenate, but after pushing, you need to do a push bind. So this is what will push the argument placeholder, this push this and name I like into the actual SQL query. So we'll use this, push bind, then you can have a format. It should be a macro format. This is what we need. Then we're gonna have a placeholder. Did I write P here? Placeholder. And at the end, we're passing our name. And that will be all. So if you have multiple filter params, you can just duplicate this. For example, I'll copy this. And I'll come back here and I'll paste it here. And this should be, I'll rename the instance of name to email, like so. And we need to bring in this user query params. But anyways, let's continue. And we need to also append order by limit and offset. So we can do QueryBuilder, the push. Then we can do order by ID, descending order, that is from the newest to the oldest. So we have another QueryBuilder dot push. This will append. Then we can pass in our limit. And the reason why we are leaving space is that it will not, we are adding it together. So it will not be ordered by ID, descending, then it will follow by limit directly. So we want to put space in between the words. Then we have QueryBuilder dot push bind, then pass the limit, then QueryBuilder dot push, we have offset, then lastly we have the QueryBuilder dot push bind, then we can pass the offset as the argument. Then we can do let query be equals to QueryBuilder dot build query as we want to build it as the user. Do we have any user here? So we want to build it as the user entity, or so to speak. Let me call this. So this is the final SQL that will map it to the user struct that we declared earlier in the previous lessons. Then we have let users be equal to query dot fetch all this. So execute the query and return all the resulting rows as vector. Vector is just like your list or your dynamic array. Then we pass in what we call our state. We call it PG. Passing our PG. Then we do await. Then we can map error. Then we have our closure. Then status code, internal server error, then E to string. Then you can close this. So then we need a count. So this will return the user's details. And we need let total count, which can be integer 64. SQLx query scalar. So we use query scalar. This is meant to be a macro, not a function. And we do select count. So we want to count all the rows, count from the users table. Then fetch one. This, then we pass in our state, which is our PG. Then we do await. Then we map the error. passing our closure as error, then source code internal server error 2, then this should be comma e.toString. Let me close this. So this will return the actual users and this will return the counts, and we can build a response which will be in form of JSON like so, and so we can do let response be equal to solid JSON this dot JSON. The macro, we can open this up and we can construct our response. So page will be equal to page coming from the query params, then limit will also be equal to limit coming from the query parameter, then total, can I spell total, will be equal to total count like so, and data finally will be equal to the users, and we need to close this, and finally we return the OK, then we pass JSON, then this will be response, and that will be all. So what do we have here? We have two errors. Let QueryBuilder, okay, this should not be here. QueryBuilder, let's bring in this, cannot find user query params first. So we can go to the user model. What is our model? And what I'll do is I'll copy this and come here and paste, and we'll just change this to user query params, and this should be optional since it's a query params. The email should be string and name should be string. We don't need password. We need the page, which should be optional of I64, and also limits, also limit of I64, and let's come back here and we can bring this in. So what do we have here? The trait bound is not satisfied with the SQLs from row. Did we not add from row to this place? Oh, so we need the SQLs from row. I'll add SQLx from row, then save, then go back. Okay, this error is gone, so we are left with this. So incompatible question mark. Oh, okay. I think I see. So we need to return a default unwrap. Then we can pass in, let's do unwrap all. We can pass in a default as 0. I believe the error should be gone. Yeah. So what do we have here again? So if email, this should be email. Okay. So that's why we're having that moved error. So if it changes back to name, you get this use of moved value occurs between blah blah blah. I'll do undo. undo to email, and we should be good. So this is how we can have our pagination. So we have the states, our states, we have the query params extractor, then we declare the variable, the page limit and offsets, then we call the QueryBuilder.new. Then for these are the filters, the name and the email, if you have any. Then we need to bind them to the actual query. Then so the let user will give us the records, and the total count will give us a count. Then we can build a response. So let's call this, or let's rename this to pagination or paginated, so something like that. And in our route mount, we'll come here and we copy and paste, call it user paginated, and get user paginated. We don't need this, and we should be good. So if I do cargo run, we should have a server running on 7879. And if I go back to my clients, I'll do, let's use one of these. Do we have a, okay, I'll copy this, go to the end, call it pagination, and center my screen, then paste this. I'll do the users paginated, paginate. Let me confirm. User paginated. Paginated. Z, and I'll do a rest run. So this is what we have. We have the data, we have one user, the email and the password here. The limit is 10, the page is 1, and the total is 1. So if we try to register another user, let's see. I'll do Smith, and this will be Smith. And we'll do a restaurant. So we have 2. Let's make it. Why do we have this one here? Okay. Let's do view. I'll do view, save. So we have 3 users. So let's go back to the, I'll center this one, restaurant. So we have 3 users, 3, 2, 1, and the ordering is from the newest to the oldest. We have a 3, 2, 1, and if I enter here and put a limit of 1, because by default the limit is 10, I'll do a restaurant. So we have 1 user. So, and you can also do limit and page of 2, page equals 2. So it will give you 1 record and go to the next page. Let's see that in action. As of now, we have view.c. So if I do restaurant, we have Smith. So I can do a limit of 2. So give me 2 records at a time, but go to the next page. So we should have only 1 here to the last record. So this is how you can do your pagination using Axum and Rust. if you enjoyed this lesson, please do well to leave a like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next class. Thank you.